Hello, welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, your regular injection of mind-numbing news, and almost said local there, Rob. And I mean, we do try and cover a lot of local news stories, but due to the death of local news journalism, we are having to spread our net further afield. I'm joined as always by Rob for episode 398, episode 400, fast approaching, like a freight train bearing down on us. Perhaps in the tunnel. There's no way out, Rob.
Right.
That's the state of Britain right now. Can I just say something before you even say hello?
Sure.
Every time I see Rishi Sunak on TV, Rishi Sunak is sorry, because I was just watching something with him in. Rishi Sunak always... I don't know how much you've watched him, but whenever he's giving interviews to a journalist or talking to really or a member of the public, the look on his face is of... I've never seen a politician with just so... You cannot hide the contempt he feels. Like, it just oozes off him. Have you noticed this? Hello, Rob.
Hello, Alex. Yes, I know what you mean. I think it's obviously a job that he wanted for a long time, and I think, but he's got to the point where I think he doesn't really want it anymore. And he's just sick of this shit. I think he's just got to the point where everything now is just treated with utter contempt. It's just like, why can they not just let me get on with it? Why do they keep bringing up these various allegations against members of my own party? Yes, I know I'm going to lose the next election. What's your next point? That kind of thing.
Yeah, but I genuinely think, Rob, that he has that he is one of those people who he does actually just disdain the general public. That's what I would believe.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's not really surprising. The man's a multi-billionaire, so... Millionaire? Billionaire? Don't know.
Millionaire.
Yeah, don't care.
Anyway, Rob, let's get on with this. Is there any news?
No, not that I've seen. I would just like to apologise. I am very conscious on the last couple of episodes that I think I might have left my bedroom window open in the room in which I record, and I realised that
I've done my
I like to apologise to the listeners for the fact that you can hear the trains going past because it's been really bugging me. So I'd like to apologise. I'm in a different room today, and although you may still hear the sound, I'm hoping it might be dampened. So I'm sorry.
Well, I did do my best, by the way. By the way, that was with a some heavy trickery to so it was much louder than that, Rob. But what I would say is, this is why we talked about the train tunnel earlier. Rob lives under it's a train tunnel you live under, isn't it, Rob?
I live in a railway arch. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's in a railway arch, so it is pretty hard. I mean, just think about Rob when the train's going past.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what we discussed midweek, Alex, the narcissist prayer and how that goes, because it's in that sort of non-apology way. Look, all I can say is if you were upset by it, fine. I'm not going to apologise for it. That's your problem.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Rob, you said there was no news.
No, we can just crack on.
Right. Let's start with ABC News, Rob. John Hayworth, from the 14th of July 2023. You might have heard about this. Cruise line apologises after dozens of whales slaughtered in front of passengers. Did you hear about that?
No. Is this what passes for entertainment these days?
It's a sort of cruise ships at the sort of the sort of Rishi Sunak types of this world go on, I guess. It's a cruise. He wouldn't go on a cruise. A cruise line has apologised to over 1,000 of its passengers after one of its ships arrived at a port in the middle of a whale hunt, where dozens of the marine animals were being slaughtered. And I've seen the pictures. It's just rivers of blood. Doesn't do it justice.
Right. Wow.
Ambassador Cruise Lines confirmed on Thursday that the arrival of their ship Ambition. Great name. I'd love to come up with a name. I like to just come up with names of like houses, cruise ships generally. What would you call a cruise ship, Rob? So Ambition. What would you call it?
Marvellous. A marvellous cruise ship. Ambition feels like they've run out of names, Alex. You used to get like really enigmatic and very, very sort of eloquent names, like Oceanic. That's a good cruise ship. ambition just sounds like, we have ambitions to do something bigger, but this is all we could manage.
I'd call the boat a cruise ship if I was sort of running it the Penetrator.
But then I think you could only run tours into the Arctic Circle where it penetrated the ice, because otherwise I think you get the wrong sort of audience.
Maybe, yeah. That was some good sea knowledge there from them.
Thank you, Alex.
Quite surprised.
Well,
Surprised.
Sorry. When you say sea knowledge, the fact that I knew there was ice in the Arctic Circle.
Rob, as people know, Rob used to work on a kind of a
trawler, Alex. Just say it was a trawler. Yeah, I used to be a fisherman. What of it?
No, we're not a fisherman, Rob. You're in charge of the chum bucket.
No, Alex, the chum bucket is an important part of any fishing boat. How else are you supposed to bring the fish to the surface? Someone has to maintain that slop. And also, can I just say, I think it was widely known within fishing circles that my chum bucket really brought all the fish to the boat.
My chum bucket brings all the fish to the boat, etc.
Yeah.
In the style of Milkshake by Kelly's.
Yeah.
Ambassador Cruise Lines confirmed on Thursday that the arrival of their ship Ambition in Shaven in the Faroe Islands, which is located, Rob, between Scotland, Iceland and Norway in the North Atlantic, coincided with the culmination of a hunt of 40 plus pilot whales in the port area. Sorry, who's hunting these whales, Rob?
I also thought the whales were protected species, Alex. Is that not the case?
I don't know. Maybe this is a dead zone in the law. We were incredibly disappointed that this hunt occurred at the time that our ship was in port. We strongly object to this outdated practice and have been working with our partner, Orca, a charity dedicated to studying and protecting whales, dolphins and porpoises in the UK and European waters, to encourage change since 2021. Ambassador, and that's what Ambassador said following the arrival of their ship in the Torshaven port area on the southern part of the main island. The government of the Faroe Islands, however, has been clear on their stance of the whale hunting for several years. So they say, Rob, as has been the case for centuries, whaling still occurs in the Faroe Islands today. This is a statement from the government of the estimated 53,000 people on the island, and it explained, Rob, the values of the whaling hunt.
Right.
The Faroese have eaten pilot whale meat and blubber since they first settled on the islands over a millennia ago, Rob.
Okay.
Do you hear that? Over a millennia ago, so shut your whale hole.
Right.
Today, as in times past, the whale drive is a community, so they call it the whale drive rather than the whale hunt. Nice.
Plays it down, yeah, sure.
It's a community activity open to all, Rob. Also, it's well organised on a community level and regulated by national law. So if you were a Faroan, Rob, and you lived there with Lyra, you could take her to hunt some whales.
I would like to think, Alex, that I would teach her to be a friend to all animals. I don't feel that that's the right way to approach this, personally.
Okay. Well, in their apology, Ambassador said that sustainability is one of the cruise line's core values and that the company fully appreciates that witnessing this local event could have been distressing for the majority of guests on board. Accordingly, we'd like to sincerely apologise to them for any undue upset. We are dedicated to supporting Orca in their endeavours to collect data and to monitor whales and dolphins, and we are extremely disappointed this happened after weeks of trying to have open, constructive dialogue with the Faroese government and visit Faroes on these issues. That's Ambassador's CEO. We continue to educate our guests and crew to not buy or eat any whale or dolphin meat, and we stand against any profiteering from commercial whaling and dolphin hunts. And I'm looking at the picture now, and it is just a bloody ocean, Rob, with some boats in it.
Lovely. I mean, Alex, the way things are going, that's going to be par for the course, I feel.
Did you know, Rob, that pilot whale meat and blubber contains a lot of protein, iron, carnitine and vitamins? And the Faroe Islands government has said, though, that there are concerns that the high levels of mercury and PCBs in the whales could have detrimental health effects, and that, in quotes, ocean pollution by heavy industries and industrialised agriculture has resulted in the pollution of whales. I do like, Rob, ocean pollution by heavy industries and industrialised agriculture as an episode title. I'm going to put it on the board now to say I think that should be it.
That's good.
Very strong. Good. God knows what kind of listeners we'll get. So, people looking for a marine biology podcast, presumably.
Yes.
Rob, just to... Yeah?
Sorry, Alex. Are you just as you said that, something has come back to me, which we also discussed. Technically, this is news, but it's late on in the podcast. Do we want to mention the guy who reached out to us from the pest control company?
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah. So we had an email midweek. We get a lot of emails from people who claim to have listened to our podcast and want to help with our search engine optimization or promoting our podcast on their site, supposedly for free. But this gentleman asked, so basically he'd obviously gone through our back catalogue and had found a reference to rats. I can't remember what episode it was now, unfortunately.
We've had a few, Rob. Where there was that brilliant episode, I don't know, 100 episodes ago, God knows how long, when you did your famous Roland Rat impression. Can you do that for us again? Just
Wetherspoons. Yeah. Well, Alex,
that's it.
It was quite timely that you mentioned that, because the episode in question. Now, I think Roland Rat has come up on a few episodes in the past, but this gentleman, well, the reference he found was actually referencing Roland Rat. And he obviously hadn't listened to the podcast. He is from a completely legitimate company. They've got a website, they've got reviews. They operate out of Washington, D.C. And he was offering his services as what would you call it? A pest control officer.
Oh. A rat catcher.
A rat catcher, absolutely. He was offering if we would like to invite him onto the podcast to talk about his services, which we did contemplate inviting him on, because I would like to have known how quickly he realised his mistake.
Just get in touch, mate, and just clarify what you were talking about, because we're confused. Rob, I just want to finish this story. Records of all pilot whale hunts have been kept since 1584. The practice is deemed sustainable, as there are an estimated 778,000 whales in the eastern North Atlantic region. This is what the government says is their spin.
Okay.
Approximately 100,000 swim close to the Faroe Islands, and the Faroese hunt on average 800 pilot whales annually. In 2023 alone, Rob, they've registered 646 whale killings, including the 78 on Sunday when the Ambition arrived. It's a lot of whales. Why aren't the whales letting the other whales know don't swim near the Faroe Islands?
Yeah, I mean, they've got those, what's it called? Echolocating? It seems that that's something they might communicate. I mean, it's difficult for a dead whale to tell another dead whale not to, well, obviously the other day, well, the dead whale would. Anyway, look, it's a legal minefield.
Right. Right, Rob, this is from NPR. Emily Olsen, July 5th, they're going back a bit. You might have heard of this as well. I did enjoy it. Roller coaster riders were trapped upside down for hours after mechanical failure.
I did hear a story, but I don't think they were trapped upside down. So, obviously, there's a famous roller coaster in the UK called the Smiler in Alton Towers, where there's a tragic accident where a lady lost her leg. She wasn't smiling then. No. It is. I think it still holds the world record for the most inversions of any roller coaster in the world. But it also has a vertical lift hill, which anyone who's been on it will know. And riders got stuck on that hill. So literally, they were stuck at a 90-degree angle, which wouldn't be a pleasant experience.
It's not that story, Rob.
Okay, sorry, Alex. What story is this?
This is in the United States. A summer amusement turned into a serious nightmare on Sunday after a roller coaster malfunctioned in mid-air, trapping 8 passengers upside down for several hours. The oscillating fireball was just sliding down from its vertical loop at the Forest County Festival in Crandon, Wisconsin, when it stopped unexpectedly because of a mechanical failure, according to a joint press release from the local fire department and rescue squad. Emergency personnel were dispatched to the scene within 15 minutes, but needed to request special equipment, including 3 ladder trucks from nearby towns to complete the rescue. One truck with the capability of rising over 100 feet took approximately 45 minutes to arrive on the scene. An off-duty firefighter with specialised rope rescue training happened to be at the festival, Rob, at the time of the incident and advised the local crews on possible options. I'm not going to keep reading this out. It's really about a roller coaster that stopped. There are videos on social media showing carnival workers grinding on metal, desperately trying to unstick the coaster. Scott Brass, a carnival goer who watched the rescue unfold, told NPR in the social media messages that 5 of the passengers were children. One of them, a girl, told rescuers to unstrap an older man first because he was visibly struggling and appeared to have passed out. And they said the little girl deserves a medal of courage. Not sure about that. Maybe some free candy floss. My question, Rob, if people were stuck hanging upside down on a roller coaster for many hours,
yes,
my mind turned to, if one of them cannot hold it any longer and shits or pisses, that's only going one way.
Well, I mean, Alex, look, I don't want to get...
It start running down your back, Rob. It would start running down your back.
Not necessarily, Alex, look, I've had to deal with the fecal matter of a child over the last 2 years, and alongside my own fecal matter. And as you know, the consistency of which can change dramatically. So what I'm trying to say is, if you needed to shit yourself, and luckily you've been eating a lot of protein potentially, and it could, what I'm saying is it could be contained within your own undergarment.
Rob, I get that, but if you're stuck upside down on a roller coaster, I'm saying the likelihood
you're going to be shouting piss. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's going to be piss coming out your sleeves. It's going to be very runny shit, because you're going to be shitting yourself quite literally. Yes. Yeah. No, you're right, Alex. It's not pleasant. Also, I don't understand, for being upside down for that long, how people didn't start passing out. Oh no, one man did pass out.
This guy did. This old guy did. Yeah, the old man. Yeah.
But then you pay your money, take your chance. I mean, surely that's part of the fun of it.
Okay, Rob, you've got a story for us over there.
Yes, I'm returning to local news. I mean, say returning. I've never really left. But this is from the Wales Online. It is by Neil Shaw, who is featured on this podcast many times.
Not those kind of whales, we should say.
No. This isn't a podcast purely for mammals. Whales. Well, whales, they are mammals, aren't they? Yes. Anyway, look.
Yeah, that'd be a hard task if we just did whale news, not the country.
Yeah, I don't think that there's enough news to justify a podcast.
You might be surprised, Rob.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, 700,000 whales can't be wrong. Anyway, so this is from the 14th of July, and the headline is, "A woman wakes up with Welsh accent despite never having visited country."
I'm always fascinated by these stories. Absolutely fascinated. Let me hear it before I pass any kind of judgment. Rob's Welsh accent only comes out when he's basically in or near the country. And then, of course, it just comes out because it's in his genes.
See, what I don't quite...
He once called me Boyo by accident. And he was at work and he did get disapproving looks from people.
Sure. Anyway, look, a baffled English woman was told how she woke up one morning with a Welsh accent despite never visiting the country. So Zoe Coles, 36, developed the new accent overnight 6 weeks ago, but thought it would eventually wear off. Alex, what are you looking for?
Sorry. No, I'm not eating sweets or anything.
It's very loud, Alex. I can hear a lot of rustling.
Right, sorry.
Right. However, it still hasn't. A mum of two is often asked if she's from Cardiff when she actually lives in Lincolnshire. Zoe said that she's never been able to do a Welsh accent or roll her R's until now.
Sorry, she just woke up one day speaking in a Welsh accent. Wasn't that great?
It's not that. It wasn't too bad, actually. I got stopped in Tesco's a couple of weeks ago and a man told me he could fall asleep to my accent. I had to tell him that I woke up with it.
Right, well, hang on, that's a jab line, isn't it? I could fall asleep to your accent. If that happens to you in Tesco, run, leave.
I had to tell him that I woke up with it and it wasn't my accent, and he laughed it off. Because they've never heard of this, they stare. I've never been to Wales. I've never been able to roll my R's. I've never been able to put on an accent, and it's crazy. People ask me where I'm from, and they start guessing Cardiff or Bristol, and I'm not from anywhere. Is that right? Yeah, and I'm not from anywhere. I'm from Lincolnshire. I mean, that feels like a bit of a burden. Lincolnshire. I'm not from anywhere. I'm from Lincolnshire.
That's fair. I'm from nowhere. Lincolnshire. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, Alex, unfortunately, this has had repercussions. So before her voice changed, Zoe worked as a bartender in Wetherspoons, but because of her accent, she's had to quit her job.
So what? Wetherspoons don't tolerate the Welsh? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, Zoe, who is mum to Zach 16 and Brooke 11, said, I didn't want to go in my new accent because the regulars would think I'm having them on. And when people get drunk, I knew I would be a target. I mean, look, Alex, Lincolnshire is a small place.
Sorry. Say that again, Rob.
So she quit her job because she thought that the regulars would think that she's taking the piss.
Oh, right, because they used to her talking one way,
yeah,
and now she's talking another. What were you going to say, Rob? Sorry.
Well, I find it quite bizarre because, if this is a real medical condition and she could explain that to them, it seems dramatic to quit her job, personally.
Yeah.
I thought it was best to leave, and I can always go back when I'm ready. So Zoe was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, a condition where she has a problem with the brain's a condition where there is a problem with how the brain sends and receives signals in January 2020. But she now thinks she has foreign accent syndrome, a rare condition where people develop speech patterns that are perceived as foreign accents. Apparently there are...
1 second, Rob. Rob, 1 second. What was the first thing called that they diagnosed her with?
Functional neurological disorder. FND.
And the definition of that was?
A condition where there is a problem with how the brain sends and receives signals.
Given that, before you go on to the second explanation, given that she woke up and she's been speaking in this Welsh accent and she's been diagnosed with functional neurological disorder.
Yes.
Does it not then stand to reason that perhaps all the people of Wales suffer from functional neurological disorder?
Well, technically speaking, Alex, that was her initial diagnosis, but now she has, or at least she thinks she has, foreign accent syndrome.
She thinks she has, right.
Which is a rare condition where people.
So maybe that's why all Welsh people are like they are. Maybe that's why they speak like they speak, do what they do to sheep, because they have an actual neurological condition. That would make sense. Well, and that would also explain some of your quirks, Rob.
Right, okay. Well, apparently there's only 107 people in the world that have this particular condition. She's been she's been to see a doctor, but they couldn't give her any more information. They tried to send her for an MRI scan, but she was terrified and had a panic attack. The doctor won't rebook her, which seems a bit unfair. And so
she's on the intercom because a lot of the surgeries they still make you wait on the intercom because of COVID outside. She's like trying to get in, saying, "I need to see the doctor," and they're like, "We can't understand you, love. We can't understand you."
Just cut her off.
Rob, I want to understand a bit about this foreign accent syndrome. Are they saying that foreign accent syndrome, that actually all that's happening is that your speech patterns have been affected by a neurological thing, and then other people are perceiving it as an accent belonging to a certain place? Not that your brain has this storage hold of all the different accents it's ever heard in the world that it can actually replicate at will if it absolutely needed to.
Well, this is what I don't quite understand, because I know that there are cases of, I'm sure there's a woman in the UK who woke up one morning and spoke French, but like fluent French. Which would imply that unless...
Right, but if you've never learned it, how would you know it?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know whether she was speaking with a French accent and then just thought she was speaking French, because, most Brits think that's how it works.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really give much information, but Zoe did say, why is nobody concerned I've woken up with a Welsh accent, which I think is a fair question to ask.
Nobody cares. That's why. Nobody cares. You've quit your job. Nobody's noticed. The doctors don't want to see you. No one cares. And that is the state of modern Britain, Rob. Correct,
Alex. I'm going to move on to my second story, which is only short. It's from a paper I don't think we've featured before, called the Newbury Today, which I'm assuming features stories from Newbury and the surrounding area.
I think it does, Rob. Can I just say, sorry, I know that we shouldn't go back to a previous story once the demarcation has been made. I did just want to say that there is a, I don't know if it's true, it could be an urban legend, but I've heard it on good authority that if you do wake up unexpectedly speaking a Welsh accent, the only way to get rid of it is basically to sleep with Tom Jones.
Correct, yes. And I think he's always open to that option.
That's what he tells people.
I can cure you, love. Anyway.
Yeah, I take that back. That was said in the name of comedy. Tom Jones is a fine artist, and we did cover a story about Tom Jones once. I wonder if Pete will pick that out for our 400th episode. Do you remember that story, Rob, where he basically said his wife was ugly or something.
Yeah, he's berated his wife for the entire. Because I think we speculated that, as you just have again, that he. I don't think there's any evidence of this, but I think we speculated that he had slept with many women during the course of his marriage, which may or may not be true.
That is again not the Tom Jones, the famous Tom Jones. That is the fictitious idea of Tom. Well, how Rob? Why did you just say that?
Alex, look,
retract.
Yeah, I retract that. I'd also like to make it absolutely clear that for the best of our knowledge, Tom Jones's penis cannot cure foreign accent syndrome. Just to put on record. Now, this feels so. This news story. We've moved on from the woman speaking Welsh, but this feels like a return to the past, if I'm honest. So it's from the 22nd of June. There's no journalist listed. So cat shaving mystery. Pet owners in Hungerford and Lambourne on alert.
Thank God they used the word cat. Okay.
Yeah. So pet owners in Hungerford and Lambourne are on alert following reports of cats being kidnapped and shaved.
Slow down. Let me digest this. Somebody is stealing cats and shaving them in this country.
Apparently.
Again, we're heading into local anaesthetic classic territory here. This is like the great local news stories of old, Rob. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. So
how did you find it? I actually don't tell me. It's fine.
I generally can't remember, Alex, to be honest. I've had it for a while. So the bizarre incidents are reported across the southeast and no one knows why. So there are reports from literally Kent to Birmingham, Alex.
It's a Croydon cat kill all over again, although it's the cat
slightly less sinister. So
do they ever wax the cats?
It doesn't say what it doesn't. It doesn't say whether they've been given the haircut.
Can you just consider right now the image of somebody sitting at home with a stolen cat, carefully shaving them?
That is very sinister. Yeah. Okay. So in London, the RSPCA has apparently warned owners to keep their pets indoors where possible. Apparently, there's that much concern about cats being shaved in London. And the animal.
Sorry, I've not heard this warning.
No, I didn't get the memo either. To be honest, I've been letting my cats out quite a lot. They haven't been shaved, although they probably need it. To be fair, so maybe this person might be doing them a favour. So apparently the animal charity, which is called Animals Lost and Found, has published an interactive map, so you can actually actively chart where the cats are being shaved.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look then. Come on. Right, sorry. What am I looking for?
So at Newbury today, pet owners in Hungerford.
No, where's the link? I want the link. I want the link to this tracker.
Hang on. I don't know. Has this got a chat? Has this got a chat function? Yes, it has. Let me put it in there.
Oh. Ooh. Technology, eh?
Yeah.
Look at that, Rob.
Oh. Alex, have you got the map open?
Yeah. Have you seen it? Right. So we've got the map, and it just says on the left. It just says cat shave attacks. And can I say this is Rob? This is like something out of Brass Eye, isn't it? Or
Alex, they've got as far as Aberdeen. How's this happened?
This is I just think the phrase "cat shave attacks" is brilliant. Right, I'm zooming in now to London, Rob.
There is a high concentration around Sittingbourne, Maidstone. Oh, there's one in Alex. There's one in Essex. It's literally it's one in my county.
Where's London gone? Can't find London, Rob.
Okay.
Oh, there's London.
Right.
Oh, there aren't many in that. So I was a completely different area of the world. There are a lot in that Kent area, aren't there?
There's a lot in Kent. I'm just having a look. There's a high concentration. I mean, a really high concentration around the town of Rochester.
Oh, here we go. So my local park, my local park is Beckenham Place Park, and one has happened.
Oh God, Alex, you need to be careful.
Blacklands Road, apparently. No. But Rob, this person is if this is one individual, they're travelling around the country shaving cats.
Apparently so, yes. So apparently the charity's organiser has posted a warning which states, as you can see in some areas it is more dense than others. There are roads where 2 or 3 attacks have happened to cats. Please, if you can, keep your cats indoors. And then and if you can't, then be mindful when you go out and come home. One owner in Hungerford has posted on social media, whoever has done this to him has scared the life out of him. Sick people are out there by the looks of it. Following a similar incident in Lambourne, owner posted, it's been happening for a while now. At first I thought another cat was attacking them, but now I can see they are being shaved. Some weirdo is finding it funny, but there's nothing funny about it. They have cut my cat in a couple of places. End of story.
Is there any suggestion they're doing anything else with the cat?
No. There's no indication that there's anything.
Can you imagine if somebody was stealing cats and shagging them, and there was a live interactive map? Cat shagger. Cat shagger.
I can't imagine that. That would necessarily. Yeah, that would be something out of brass eye. Without a doubt.
Okay, Rob, it's time for our listener story of the week. And in a change of tradition, Rob, I'm doing the listener story because a friend of mine called Tom, who lives in Gloucester, I don't know if he still listens to the podcast, but he sent this through, and the reason I'm covering it is I've got to after the story you just did. It's a big cat story, and he texts me asking, what did he ask me? He asked me, do you still cover big cats on your podcast? But yes, we do. I mean, it'd be odd if we had a sort of some sort of diktat that we couldn't any longer cover big cat stories. We'll cover whatever we can get. Right?
Yeah, true.
This is from the 10th of July. It's from the Gazette. Just says Gazette, Gloucestershire. I guess it says Gazette. It covers Gloucestershire, Thornbury, Yayton, Sodbury, as far as I'm aware. But anyway, from the 10th of July by Alice Knight, reporter.
Hang on,
Rob, we like a good.
Sorry, is she the night reporter, or is her name Alice Knight?
Alice Knight.
Right, okay.
Reporter.
Good.
Right. Big cat enthusiasts claim to have new photographic evidence of a predator roaming the Stroud area.
Hang on. Is this who I think it is?
What?
Is this the legendary... Oh, what was his name now? What was his name, Alex?
I don't remember.
No,
John Mooner was the...
What's
the aliens?
What's the name in the story of the guy? Because if it is who I think it is, I can't remember his name. As soon as I hear his name, I'll know it. But obviously, he's been on this podcast before. Andy
Rule, 53, and Claire, 50, have spent more than a decade tracking big cats.
No, that's not them.
They first took an interest in the big cat phenomenon back in 2012 after the suspicious death of 2 deer. Years ago, they set up trail cameras in woodland near Nymphsfield in the hope of snapping a beast. And their efforts, Rob, have now paid off, they claim. There's their camera captured, Rob. I've got pictures of a big cat in the wild. Right. By the way, where was it I was reading the other day that there is an escaped cat? Big cat. But they know it's a lioness and it's roaming the streets.
What? In the UK?
Where was that? It was either in the UK or somewhere like France or something. But there's a lion. Hang on, let's have a look. Lioness. Escape. Yeah, here we go. Berlin. That was it. It's Berlin lioness on loose. But yeah, now they're saying, basically people have been reporting it everywhere, but people are now saying apparently it's people in lockdown. Escaped lion causes lockdown in Berlin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
But anyway, that's, I will have to send you, obviously, the story, Rob, so you can look at the evidence for yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Andy, a former carer from Stroud, said, "We have had 3 cameras over half a mile that have picked up glimpses in that area. What I believe the cat is doing is sniffing the ground. Between the first image of the tail and the side profile, there was 53 seconds. If it had been a video, it would have caught it moving more fluently. I believe this cat we've seen now seems to be showing quite a bit of grey, so I think it's a bit older. Most of the images we've caught are pure luck because the cats are scooting around the edges of them. Claire's always been interested in it too, since growing up, but she asked me to take her to a spot where the deer carcasses were found in 2012. Romantic, Rob. Take me to where those deer carcasses were found, Andy. We would spend our time off from caring for our son, trying to get sightings of the black cat. We've been catching odd images all the way through. 2015, 2016, 2018 and 2019 were really good years. But, Rob, in 2020, when I lost my leg, we weren't able to do much with it."
So,
This.
So, the obvious question I'm going to have to ask Alex was, how did he lose the leg?
Big cat.
Right.
No, I don't know. The details in this story are wonderful. From the city, you feel like it's irrelevant at the beginning when it says that they were carers. Then you actually find out they've been caring for their son. And then he says in 2020 he lost his leg. Once we got the care for our son, so they basically got somebody else in to look after their son, so they could then spend 55 hours a week in the field walking to all the cameras and checking regular routes for any sightings.
Sorry. Well,
55 hours a week. How many hours is that a day, Rob?
Well, Alex, the average working week is between 36 and 40 hours. So I would have. So I don't know their circumstance.
So that's basically around 8 hours a day. Yeah.
But they've obviously got to a point in their relationship that they thought, look, great, well, now we don't have to look after our son. We can go out and hunt big cats. That doesn't feel like the right decision to be made.
To be fair, and this isn't me being judgmental, I read it as we've got help in to look after our son so we can go out and hunt big cats, which...
Yeah, sure, yeah, okay. I mean, clearly a decision has been made there, but...
Daddy, where were you when I was growing up? I was hunting big cats.
Show your face. Eat your cornflakes.
I would like to say we are mucking about because I've got no idea what their son's needs are, and it could be incredibly difficult for them.
Yeah,
Rob, so
yeah.
But and he's lost his leg, so come on. But that was funny.
Sorry,
I did enjoy it.
I still need to know how he lost his leg. Sorry, I know we don't know, but.
Each 6 weeks or so, you go to a different set of cameras and spend weeks looking through thousands of pictures. I've shown a couple of people the images, and they think it's a cat too. One of them said, maybe it's an older cat passing back through. Now, what I'd like to say, Rob, is... did you hear... Hang on. What I'd like to say, Rob, is... Did you notice what I noticed about what people have told him?
Well... I don't quite understand the phrase, maybe it's an old cat passing back through. I mean...
That from the dead? What do they mean?
Well, I mean... Are his friends implying that he's tracking the same cat and it just keeps passing... Because I'm assuming these are motion sensor... motion cameras. So are they just implying it's the same... I don't understand, Alex.
I don't know, but the bit that interests me is he says... Every 6 weeks, they go round to these cameras and they spend weeks looking through thousands of them. I've shown a couple of people of the images and they think it's a cat too. No, nobody's said, yeah, that's a big cat. They just said, yeah, I see a cat.
Yeah, good point.
The couple's pictures follow reports in May that DNA from a black hare caught on a barbed wire fence in Gloucestershire following a sheep attack offered new proof that big cats are roaming the countryside. And rather enigmatically, Rob, it ends there. Now, I'm going to send you the story on the chat. How do I...
Can you see...
How do I open this? Oh,
can you see the little message
function? I've got it open already. All right, there you go, mate. And I'm just going to pull up my friend's text.
Right, where's this video?
It's not a video, it's a picture.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, I got that. Fine.
And so I want you to zoom in, analyse it and describe for the listener. Because that, Rob, surely that's a big cat. Remember, Rob, this is after thousands of images. This is the best they've got. Yeah, 55 hours a week, leaving their son at home with a stranger for this. What is it? What is it?
I've literally no idea. Alex, you know what I think it looks like?
Yeah,
it looks like someone waving a Wellington boot behind a tree.
Oh yeah, it does.
What the fuck is it? That's... How is he to choose that? It looks nothing like a big cat.
Looks like a dog, if it's anything.
Also, I might be really dense, but if it's a big cat, would it not be showing on both sides of that tree?
Oh, do you think he's arguing that's just the back of it? Yeah, that's true. Also, I love the way he circled it. If you've got to circle it, then it's not that obvious. My friend said, our listener, he said, I just like the way he casually dropped in that he'd lost his leg, as if we knew him. And also that he spent 30 plus hours a week, but doesn't have any good pictures and doesn't even bother videoing. I mean, that's a good point. Why aren't you fucking running a video camera?
Alex, why is he not spending more time trying to find his missing leg? That's a better question.
Okay, Rob, that brings this episode 398 of Local Anaesthetic to a close. I've really enjoyed that, Rob. I'm feeling slight palpitations in my heart because I'm aware the next episode is episode 399, and after, I don't know why I'm worried about episode 400. I don't know why. I don't know what it signifies. I feel like it could signify the end of the world, Rob.
It's a possibility, to be honest. It's always a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, when we first sat down to discuss this podcast over a copy of My News Shopper, however many years ago, the idea that we would be soon recording our 400th episode, I don't think any of us would have believed it.
No, I think you're right. And I mean, but at the same time, I always thought I would be involved in bringing about the destruction of humanity. I just wasn't sure how.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Thank you for listening, everybody. Please go to our website, LAPodcast.net. There's a donate button there, you'll see, quite prominently. And if you can donate to the worthy cause that is this podcast, seriously, it helps keep us afloat. We really appreciate it. You could do a one-time donation, you could do a rolling donation, whatever you want. Or consider it like a tip. We would very much appreciate it. We're going to see you next week. No, sorry, 2 weeks' time. Is it 2 weeks' time? Yes, 2 weeks' time.
No, every week. Every week.
Yep. We'll see you in a week's time for episode 399. God bless.
And keep it local.